So I'm looking real tired because I just woke up from my nap. I got up really early and I was really tired. Anywho, so um, it has been a fiasco this past week trying to figure out whether or not this transfer has worked. I have been taking tests like crazy and I have been getting lines and it looked like it was not getting no darker and it was driving me crazy. I even took digitals. I was getting, not pregnant, not pregnant. So I ran out of tests. I've spent $1 million on tests this week, you guys. First response, clinical digital, pregmates that I had, which I ran out of. I went to Dollar Tree. They only had 2 tests left in the whole freaking store. I bought them. So yesterday I took the Dollar Tree test, stark white, nothing. But I was still pulling faint lines like on the first response. But I took my last one. And yesterday the one that I took around 2 p.m. was the darkest it had been, right? It was pink and everything. So I was like, ooh, this is promising. But the digital was negative. And so was the Dollar Tree test. So, but I had took a pregmate, my very last pregmate, and it was darker than what it had been. So this morning I got up, I took my last Dollar Tree test, and I could see a faint line. Remember yesterday, nothing. So it's like, oh, this is promising. All I had left though was that one digital. And so last night, because I knew that I ordered some more pregmates, which just got here. So I held my pee, you guys, all freaking day. Like, it's 6:17 p.m. now. The last time I used the bathroom was maybe like 8:30 a.m. So I literally held it all freaking day. And so I just went to the bathroom because my pregmate order came in the mail. I took the test and it was darker and pink, but that's nothing, you guys. I took my last digital test, very first time in my life. Can you guys see that? Pregnant. Oh my gosh. I was waiting on this because this was the confirmation that I needed. Not only just to be able to sink into this moment, but to also to surprise Brian, be able to tell him with confidence, right? Because all that line stuff, he wasn't going to get it. I don't see the line, blah, blah, blah. Can't deny this. Oh my God, you guys, this has never happened to me before. I am pregnant with my first child. And all I can say right now, beyond the fact that it's like super ecstatic, is that I pray that God touches me, touches my body, touches my womb, keep this baby growing, make sure this baby is healthy, keep us healthy, and let us have a healthy and happy 9 months, pain-free, drama-free, healthy, complication-free pregnancy, labor, and delivery, and just continue to bless us in this journey. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to share with you guys as this journey continues to unfold. So that's it for now. I'll come back later. I can't wait to tell my mama and his mama. They're going to be so happy. Oh my God. Now I got to get ready because he gets off in 40 minutes, and I'm going to try to get him to come straight home instead of going to the gym. Now I got to make up something like, I don't know, but we'll see. All right, y'all. Ciao. this is me, LQ. I was just coming to you guys. Today is Monday, August 15th, and today is beta day. So if you saw the last clip, you saw that I did test positive recently on a digital test. So today I have to go in and get my blood drawn to see what my HCG levels are. I'm praying to God that it is a good level, and that when I do a subsequent test that the numbers go up, so that I can kind of, be calm and just enjoy this process without worry. So yeah, that's that on that. So it's 5:57 in the morning. It's bright and early. My appointment is at 7 a.m. so I'm moving around early so I can get over there, beat traffic hopefully, and get a parking spot. So I'll come back to you guys afterward and let you guys know, how that was. I don't know when they'll give me my results. I'm assuming later on today, so I got to be on edge until they give me a call. Hopefully I'm at a point where I can record the call as well. I don't know, because we have some things to take care of today, so I'll be out and about. But I'm praying for blessings on blessings on blessings. So I just wanted to come to you guys and let you know today is beta day. So I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, that's it. All right, ciao. Hi, you guys. So I'm coming back to give you an update. A lot has taken place since the last time you heard from me. So in the last clip, I was going in for my beta testing, which is when you go in for them to do the blood test to determine whether or not you're, officially pregnant or not, to get your HCG blood test results. So just to kind of catch you guys up, that was August 15th. I went in. My HCG beta results was, my HCG levels was a 28, and my progesterone was a level 11. They told me that was, on the lower end, but it was still early, so not to worry, that I would need to be tested again in 2 days to make sure that my levels were increasing. So 2 days later, I went back 2 days later, and I got tested again. Luckily, my HCG levels rose, went from 28 to 91. Progesterone levels was still at 11. I needed to go back again in 2 more days, but at this point I was out of town, so they told me that I could come into the office when I came back into town, which would be then 4 days later instead of 2 days later. So I went in 4 days later, and my numbers had increased again. My HCG level had went from 91 to 594, which was good. However, my progesterone levels had dropped. It went from 11 to a 6.4. Within that time, I had started spotting, so I was already on high alert. But it was refreshing to know that my progesterone levels had dropped, which is probably what caused the spotting. So my doctors reacted pretty immediately. I was already taking progesterone suppositories vaginally, so they also put me on the progesterone and oil injections starting that same night. That was a Sunday night, and they scheduled me to come back the following morning, Monday morning, which was the 22nd, August the 22nd. So I took the injection that night, went back the next day, and my HCG levels had risen from 594 to 1,595 in 1 day. And then my progesterone levels had risen from, remember, it dropped to 6.4, and it went all the way up to 29, in 1 day. So we were very happy to hear those numbers. We definitely celebrated that because we were starting to get worried. So, the monitoring actually was paused at that point, being that they noticed that my body was reacting to the progesterone injections well. My numbers were increasing. So they felt like the baby was growing. So I was actually going out of town the next day. So the doctor scheduled me for my first ultrasound for the following Monday, August the 28th. So at that point, I would be exactly 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, 0 days. They said they wanted me to come in for my first ultrasound, and it was mostly like a viability scan to make sure that the baby is growing normally. There's a gestational sac, a fetal pole, a yolk sac, whatever, that the baby's in the right place, so on and so forth. So that's me catching you guys up from the last clip when I went in for my beta testing all the way up to first ultrasound. So on Monday, which was 6 days ago, we went in for our first ultrasound. Remember, I'm 6 weeks, 0 days, exactly 6 weeks pregnant. So me and Brian go in. We get ourselves situated. I'm on the table. He's sitting in the chair, and so our doctor comes in. She's like, "Hi, you guys. So just to let you know, the way in which I do my scans, I'm gonna go in with the probe, and I'm going to be very quiet at first." She's like, "I want to, make sure I know what I'm looking at, and I understand what I'm seeing before I say anything. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong, but I don't want you guys to be alarmed. That's the way I do it. And then once I see everything, then I'll explain to you, what I'm looking at." So we're like, okay. So she goes in with the probe. I'm laying on the bed so I can see the screen, right there. So she's quiet, like she says. She's looking at everything. I'm looking too, but of course I don't understand what's going on that screen at all. It just looks like darkness to me. So she's doing her thing. There's also a nurse assistant or something in there with her, and so she says, I'm just trying to make sure that the baby is in the right spot, in the right place. So when she said that, like, I started to get nervous, because in my mind I'm like, what would make her say that? So I'm like, okay. So she proceeds to, look around, and now I'm looking at the screen, like, more focused, because I'm like, Lord, I hope, that the baby's in the right spot. So she's looking around, and then she says, okay, so this right here is your uterus. So she shows on the screen like this area, and she scans over, and she was like, this is the pregnancy right here. Unfortunately, the pregnancy is not in your uterus. It is in your right fallopian tube. So when she says that, I already know, like, I'm well researched enough to know that was not good. Like, I know the baby is supposed to be in my uterus. That's where it was where it was placed in my transfer. That's where it's supposed to implant. That's where it's supposed to grow. So as soon as she said that, like, my heart stopped. And so she said, I'm not going to say that definitively. I'm going to go get another doctor to come in and do a second look, and to make sure before we say with certainty, because I could be seeing it wrong. This is what she says. So she's trying to give us hope or whatever. So she steps out. She goes to get the other doctor. So the other doctor comes in. She introduces herself. So she preps another probe, gets herself ready. You're gonna feel some pressure, all of the little disclaimers, and then she starts looking around. She's very quiet. She's looking around, and I'm looking at the screen. I see again. It's like you can see the sac and with the baby in it, right? I don't know if it's a fetal pole, yolk sac, I don't know what each part is, but I see like a black mask, and inside is like a sac, And then all of a sudden she said, confirmed. And then I see my doctor like, just like sadly shake her head. And then she removes the probe, you know, clean, takes off her gloves and everything. And she's just like, I am so sorry to, about this, and I'm so sorry to have to give you this news. And she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and step out, but my apologies to both of you. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just like stunned. So, she steps out, and so my doctor just sits on the chair. Now, before she even said, let me get the other doctor, right? As she's scanning around, it's like she turns on the sound. And I know she needed to confirm this, and I'm glad she did because I wanted to hear it. So she turns on the sound, and all of a sudden, you hear the baby's heartbeat. And you see the heartbeat monitor go across the screen, like the up and down lines that mimics the heartbeat. And it was loud and clear as day. And she doesn't leave it playing for a long time. Like, she cuts it off, I'm sure, because she didn't want to make matters worse. But we heard it. So just hearing the heartbeat lets you know how far along this baby was, and that this baby was trying to live like in a non-ideal environment, in a tube, but it was growing, and it was like had a heartbeat. Like, the irony of the fact that if it just had been implanted in the right place in the uterus, we wouldn't be here today. But anyway, so my doctor sits down, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, you guys don't deserve this. I hate that this is happening to you. And she's like, I'm literally about to cry myself. Like, she just felt so human to us in that moment, because it felt like she was mourning with us. My eyes just like welled up with tears, but I was just like in shock. I couldn't believe. Like, I went in with cautious optimism, but I was like, these are the two outcomes to expect. We're gonna see a baby, hear a heartbeat, and everything will be fine. Or we won't see a baby, or we won't hear a heartbeat, and they'll say the baby stopped growing. Nothing in my mind made me like prepare myself, for the news that the baby would be in the wrong place, and that it would be an ectopic pregnancy. So she said, I'm going to give you guys a minute alone to kind of process this, and then I'll come back and we will discuss the next steps. So we're like, okay. So she steps out of the room, and it's like as soon as that door closed, I just lost, like, the tears started. I just started bawling. Like, I couldn't hold it in. Like, the tears just started coming. Like, I just started crying. And Brian immediately, like, got up to embrace me. Like, even in that moment, he couldn't. It was just like he was feeling it too, and he had to, like, be there for me. It was insane. Like, he was just holding me. I was just crying my little heart out. Like, unless you've been through it, you might not understand. But to try to conceive a baby for the length of time that we have been doing so, and to not have any clarity on why it's not happening, right? There is speculation, of, okay, I have this tube that has blockage in it, which is more than likely a reason why this ectopic pregnancy happened. But I ovulate from my left side many times. So, my husband's sperm is top tier, spectacular. The doctors are like, there's nothing wrong there. I ovulate every month. I have normal, cycles. I don't, I have PCOS, but aside from that, there's no clarity as to why we have not been able to conceive, and to have gone for so long without getting, you know, any positive tests, and to finally go through IVF, be lucky and blessed enough to conceive on the first round, and then for it to be ripped away from us like that. That is the most horrible feeling, the most defeating, cruel feeling. I've never felt so like targeted in my life. Like, how unfair could this be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely have faith in God, and I know that there is a story or a reason for everything that takes place, and I'm not necessarily angry at him, but I don't understand this at all. So anyway, so, you know, we're having our moment, and she comes back in, and she's like, you know, apologizing again, once again, I'm so sorry. And she's like, but this is definitely a medical emergency. This pregnancy is pretty pronounced, and it's shocking that you're not in pain. This can definitely become a life-threatening situation if this tube ruptures. We have to get you into surgery today. We have to remove the pregnancy, and we have to remove your right tube. And she said, I'm also going to have them look at your left tube, and if they see any damage, anything wrong with that tube, any type of blockage or anything that suggests that it's not in perfect condition, I'm going to have them remove that tube as well. Now, if both tubes are removed, then you won't be able to get pregnant naturally, but we are doing IVF, so that shouldn't be a concern for you. I'm not going to have them automatically take it out, you know, just in case, but I'm just letting you know now. If I'm going to tell them if they see anything wrong to take it out, because we don't want this to happen again. You know, if we move forward with another IVF round, and I do feel that bad tube that had the partial blockage, this is one of the reasons that this probably happened. It's possible that the baby floated up into the tube and couldn't get back out. So I'm just like, first I learned that my baby got a heartbeat, but won't for long. And now I gotta have surgery today. Like, you can't even imagine what that feels like to, you know, to hear that news, and then to know, like, it has to be this pregnancy has to be surgically removed, and I have to go through a major freaking surgery today on top of everything. So she's like, I've already notified the OBGYN surgeons at the other hospital. They're expecting you. You guys have to go right now. Go through emergency. You're gonna get admitted, and it's gonna move pretty quickly because, like I said, this is a medical emergency. So we had to get dressed. We had to rush over to the other hospital. You know, went through emergency, got admitted, went through triage. You know, I had a lot of doctors come to visit me. It was a lot of people on the team who was going to be a part of that surgery. 2 surgeons, and then there were a lot of like residents who were going to be in there, and nurses. Like, it was a lot. And then they had to get the room ready, and the right equipment for the surgery. And they allowed Brian to stay with me the whole time, which was shocking because with COVID, they're being really funny about visitors. So they let him stay with me the whole time. And once I got to the surgery unit, you know, they dressed me, and I had to go over a lot of like consent forms, like making sure that I understood the process and what this meant. And then they took me in the back and put me to sleep. You know, when I woke up, I was in pain, but it was over. So it's crazy how I woke up that morning blissfully pregnant, and then by that night, no longer pregnant. And there is a baby in there with a heartbeat that I'll never get to see or know until we meet again in heaven. You know, I don't know if it was a girl or a boy. I don't know. Nothing. And it just breaks my heart that that little baby was in there trying to grow, not even realizing that its fate had already been determined. So, I mean, I said all that to say I'm not looking for pity from anybody. I really just wanted, I had committed to, sharing this IVF cycle, good or bad. Of course, I didn't even think, I thought the worst that could happen was that it didn't work. Then it worked. Then I said the worst that could happen is probably the baby didn't have a heartbeat on time or something, or didn't get a heartbeat, and then this happened. I never would have thought I would experience the next type of pregnancy. Of course, I'm no better than anybody, anybody who's been through this, but I did want to share this because, like I said, I committed to the idea of being transparent about this process. And I know that a lot of women have been through this, whether it's a chemical pregnancy, a miscarriage, a stillborn, or infant death, or ectopic pregnancy, in some way have lost a child. And I just wanted people to know you're not alone. There should be no shame tied to any part of this process, whether you need help conceiving, or you need help carrying, or you go through a loss, whatever the case may be. It happens to people that you know. And it goes back to something I said in a different video where I said we really have to be kind and gentle to one another, because you just never know what people are going through. So like I said, I don't seek pity, but I do hope that you guys pray for us, and whenever we're ready to try again and move forward in this process, I pray that God shines his light on us, and that he's shows us grace the next time, because I really don't know if I can go through something like this again in any capacity. And I know that moving forward, I'll be riddled with fear. If I get another positive test, I'm going to be so scared about the numbers rising. I'm going to be so scared about the first scan that it's in the right place. If that goes well, I'm going to be so scared that, the baby is chromosomally, normal, or that, it's not no problems. Like, pregnancy is not what it used to be. It used to be like you find out you're pregnant and you just like, ooh, I'm going to have a baby for 9 months. And now, especially when you go through fertility and you start to really understand all of the things that could go wrong, it's not that same blissful process anymore. It's like an anxiety-inducing, traumatic, terrifying 9-month experience. And it should not be that way. And I pray that God delivers me from aligning myself with that type of experience, because I don't want to go through that. But this is a long video, but I just hope that you guys pray for us, pray for our journey, and then for any of you who've been through this, I'm praying with and for you guys as well, because this is terrible. And my baby, who had a heartbeat and was a strong one and was growing despite being in the wrong place, I love you, and I can't wait to meet you whenever that day comes, when we reunite in heaven. And I hope that everything I do from this day forward makes you proud. And I hope that your siblings that do come to us in Jesus' name know and love you as well. That's it. So I will talk to you guys later. Ciao.